unassuming country manor was the nerve centre of Britain's Second World War spy operations. But where am I? Find out as we escape to the country. On today's show, I help a couple of city dwellers buy their first home together in the countryside. Initially, they're quite guarded about our houses.
Perhaps I'll have to see what the outside area is like to see whether we can get this one over the line.
You always need a little bit more, don't you? But later, their reactions are positively gushing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Amazing, yes. Today I'm in Buckinghamshire at the National Museum of Computing, and this rebuilt mass of wires, valves and plugs is Colossus, the world's very first electronic computer. Now, it was here that British spies worked tirelessly to crack Hitler's heavily encoded communications during the final years of the Second World War. Later on, I'll be finding out more about the entire Bletchley Park complex, which is one of the greatest secrets of British military history. But for now, why don't you discover more about the wealth of delights that make Buckinghamshire such an appealing place to escape to the country. Covering some 730 square miles in total, Buckinghamshire forms part of the Home Counties region. The River Thames runs along its southern borders before the landscape gives way to the Chiltern Hills. Numerous famous writers have settled in this area of outstanding natural beauty, including Roald Dahl, who lived in Great Missenden for over 30 years and whose work is commemorated in a local museum. The village is one of many that still retains its historic architecture. Indeed, Aylesbury, which was granted its county town status by Henry VIII, is home to over 170 listed buildings. And nowadays, in order to claim a slice of Buckinghamshire rural life for yourself, you'll need to keep tight hold of those purse strings. Fortunately, prosperity isn't in short supply here. The south of the county has the highest average income in the country at £839 a week. Now, I say fortunately because the house prices do match those high wages. You can expect to pay around £477,000 for the detached property here, and that's some £217,000 more than the national average. The thing is, commutability and the countryside do come at a cost. But in Buckinghamshire, you'll get a rich mix of property styles, as they really have made the most of the building materials available here. In particular pockets of the county, such as the Aylesbury Vale, natural seams of limestone occur. The Portland and Purbeck stone types are a feature of buildings in the area and were often used in the construction of churches as well as houses. This 3-bedroom Grade 2 listed limestone cottage in Culverton is priced at £595,000. Although parts of Buckinghamshire are popular with commuters to London these days, many historic market towns were thriving commercial centres in their own right from the 17th century. The old town of Amersham is home to an array of merchants' houses and smaller workers' terraced cottages, providing something for most budgets. This 3-bedroom Grade 2 listed cottage in nearby Beaconsfield Old Town will cost just under £390,000. So lots to choose from there, and hopefully today's buyers have deep pockets. Let's meet them and find out. Finance Director Ian and interior design student Christy have recently returned to the UK from Dubai. Although they've loved the buzz of urban living up until now, they feel the time has come to lay down some roots and buy their first home together in the British countryside.
Generally speaking, we sort of feel as though we've been there and done that, and now it's time to do something different, and really it's about a family home in our own space.
Having got married a year ago, Ian and Christy are pursuing having a family. However, in the beginning, it was work that initially brought them together.
Well, we met at Cranfield School of Management. I was the assistant administrator at the time, and yeah, basically it started there, didn't it?
Yeah, I I realised quite quickly that I probably needed the inside track at Cranfield, so I thought getting a little bit closer to the administrative function wouldn't do me any harm.
Since returning from Dubai, they've been renting in Buckinghamshire whilst they research where they want to settle in the county.
We realised we wanted to be closer to family without increasing the commute. I know sort of the Milton Keynes area quite well.
But it's not just the location they've researched. As an interior design student, Christy has her eye on a home with definite style.
Well, we're looking for a property with character, definitely. I think we prefer detached, but we'd happily go with the semi as well, wouldn't we?
And even though there are just 2 of them, they both agree that they need to spread out.
We do need quite a bit of space. I'm studying, so I need a lot of room for my course materials.
Yeah.
So
It's not that we're falling out, but you know, there are genuinely other reasons why we need the space.
When they do find their ideal property, they're not just after breathing space in the house.
We'll enjoy doing what we've always done, and that's, you know, going out walking and socialising, and, you know, going out for dinner and drinks, you know, away from, you know, the busy lifestyle that we tend to lead, you know, 8 till 6 every day.
Ultimately, their house needs to give them room to grow in the future.
I mean, we hope to settle down and have a family as well, don't we?
I think some of the things that I'm most looking forward to is actually having a house that we can call our own home.
And as a finance director, it's no surprise that Ian's worked out how much they have to spend.
The maximum budget for the move is £750,000.
Ian and Christy would like us to focus their property search in the outlying villages around Milton Keynes, preferably around a 15-minute drive away from the railway station. I'm meeting up with our buyers to find out more about the vision they have of their ideal country home. Good morning, you two. Look,
morning.
the sun's come out.
Yeah, what a lovely day.
So how specific are you on the area that you want to be in?
It's more a case of, we're not so fussed about the county, are we? It's more about not being too far from Milton Keynes Central Station, which is where Ian will commute into London from.
Milton Keynes feels about as far north as you can get to still have a good commute into London, if that makes sense.
The other thing that we've got to think about, though, is the property itself, not just the commute. What kind of house are we looking for?
I mean, it's a family home that we're looking for, hoping to spend the next sort of 10 years rather than short term, so 3 or 4 bed, I think.
I think we have a real preference towards big rooms, nice high ceilings, that sort of thing.
Yeah, light and airy is nice, yeah.
Outside space is important, nice big garden.
How big a garden are we looking for?
Well, you know, I wouldn't say we're going to turn into sort of green fingers, but, you know, quite a nice...
Decent space, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, that's not bad for around here. I think we've found you 3 very good properties,
Great.
including the mystery house. So shall we go and have a look?
Yeah, definitely.
Ian and Christy have a maximum budget of £750,000. For that, they would like a detached character property with light, spacious living areas, a large kitchen with an island, 4 bedrooms which gives them scope to use one as a study, a studio for Christy's interior design work, and finally, a generous garden. We've selected 3 charming properties to view, and as usual, I'll be asking them to guess the price before I reveal it. The last, of course, is our mystery house, which will test their resolve to renovating. Mindful of their brief on location, we're starting our house tour just 11 miles southwest of Milton Keynes in Little Horwood. Besides giving Ian a quick travel time to the station, the village provides them with a peaceful countryside setting. Amenities include a local pub, a cricket green, and the Memorial Hall acts as a local store and post office a couple of times a week. Our first property is a single-storey barn conversion. I have confidence in our first property.
Okay.
Because this is it.
Yeah.
Right, OK.
Barn conversion.
Wow.
So first impressions.
Yeah, we've not looked at any barn conversions actually, so...
I think for me, I was probably picturing something in its own plot. So the fact that there's sort of 3, 4, 5 conversions altogether
probably wasn't what I was looking for initially.
Once you get inside, you'll really feel that it's a very standalone individual property, and you'll hardly notice there's anyone else around.
Okay.
Come and have a look. Although there are subdued reactions to the modest exterior, I think the features and space inside will lift their mood.
Oh, lovely floor.
It's great, isn't it? Tuscan limestone flooring,
Yeah,
right the way through here
Oh,
to your kitchen dining room.
wow.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah.
First wow of the day.
No, I mean, it's,
Yeah, it's
you
very
know,
nice.
it's very sort of open plan, and there's obviously some sort of, you know, the period features in terms of the beams.
You notice the beams. This is all original, the original barn. The
Wow.
barn dates back to 1883.
Right.
And the conversion was only done just under 10 years ago.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, no, very nice. I like it.
Very nice. OK, well, come and have a closer look at the kitchen. Now, what do you think of this for the kitchen? I love this.
Yeah.
It's not an original feature. They've put in this brick surround for the
Right.
range, but I think it's a nice touch.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
works.
impressive. And I love the central island. That's something I've always wanted in a kitchen, actually. So.
Looking out there to all the
Yeah.
guests, all the family sitting around.
Yeah,
Come and have a look at this room.
Look.
I like this room. It's big, isn't it?
This could be another wow.
Yeah, it's a big room, yeah, it's
Oh,
lovely.
look at the wood burner. Yeah,
I
that's
think I got a
nice.
bit of a smile out of you there.
Almost.
Almost.
You must be doing well.
Yeah, it's nice. So,
And just so you
it
know,
works.
that's the only wall that's actually touching a neighbour. That
Right,
wall
okay.
there. We're going to go and have a look at
We'll bear that in mind.
the other side of the house. And there's nobody on the other side. There's a little courtyard.
Right.
So you're not
That's
that
good
close
to
to people.
Okay.
Come on. Christy seems taken with what she's seen so far, although Ian, I fear, may need more convincing. On the opposite side of the property, there are 3 doubles in total, all of which are spacious, light and airy. There's also a family bathroom. But we'll explore what could be their room. Back with this lovely oak flooring into the master suite.
Yeah, good size again. Loads of storage.
They've had all of this built in. It's got a huge ensuite bathroom, roll-top bath, walk-in shower.
Yeah.
Lots of space in there, and a lovely touch.
Yeah,
the French
wow,
doors.
That's lovely. Yeah.
No,
Doors
again,
out.
it's, you know, it's a good size room, so.
I'm hearing a lot of nice, and I like it, but
Yeah.
I'm not feeling much of an emotional connection.
Just feels almost a bit too new, if anything.
The one thing I haven't mentioned is with my coursework, I need a lot of space, so we're probably lacking a room, aren't we?
I think so.
Need an extra room, need it to
Yeah.
not feel so new. So the second point maybe you can fix with the interior decor.
Yeah.
And maybe the first
Yeah.
point you can fix.
Maybe I can. Shall we go and have a look outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, that way. The property as it stands is a blank canvas to which Christy could add her creative touch. Outside, as well as having well-stocked mature gardens, delivers another important element for Christy. It's still raining, I'm afraid.
Fortunately, there you go.
And if we just look that way, beautiful views.
Yeah, it's a wonderful view. You'd never grow tired of that view. It's fantastic.
So what do you think of this as a garden?
I think it's a good size for us.
Yeah, manageable, and it's a reasonable size.
And of course, I brought you out on the promise of more space.
Yeah.
Down that end, you've got what looks like a shed, a bit of an outbuilding. It's
Okay.
boarded and it's got electricity in it.
Right.
Currently used as a gym. It could be the space for your studies and the interior design work. Well, you know everything there is to know about this property now, except how much it costs.
Why don't we let Christy go first?
Thanks. Okay, I reckon 620,000.
I genuinely think that is a decent guess. I'll go for 650,000.
You get the first point. This is on the market, bang on at 650.
Well, there you
there
go.
you go.
There you go.
Well done.
Lucky guess.
Yeah. So with that in mind, you probably want to get out of the rain anyway. Why don't you head back
nice.
in, have a look at that shed maybe, and I'll see you later on.
Great.
Okay.
All
right.
Thanks, Denise.
Comfortably under budget at £650,000, this immaculate barn conversion is a good opening gambit for our buyers to consider. It delivers on many fronts, with a fantastic open-plan kitchen diner and a living room with log burner. There are 3 double bedrooms with a great master ensuite. And along with a good-sized garden with views, there's a timber outbuilding to house Christie's studio.
Probably not expecting this, were we?
No.
What do you think?
Well, I'm not sure if I could use it for my studio because I'm not sure if it's light enough.
No. No, it probably is a little bit dark, isn't it?
So we'd probably end up using it for storage, I reckon.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Character was really high up on our list, and this property does have character, but there's just something, there's a new feeling about it actually. So even though it's got the beams and fireplace, it feels like it's lacking character somehow.
I think my first impression was that the barn conversion was done very tastefully. You know, so I think that was quite striking when we first walked in. But I think perhaps in the back of my mind I was already beginning to question, well, would I prefer a detached property with a bit more privacy on its own plot? I'm not convinced this house has got enough space for us.
Well, it's still raining, so I definitely think it's time for us to make a move, and hopefully they've seen enough now. Seen everything?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's time for us to get out of this rain. Come on, let's go. Surrounded by countryside and the Chiltern Hills is the historic market town of Marlow. Its gentrified Georgian character can be attributed to its prime location on the banks of the River Thames, where for centuries goods for trade were loaded and shipped downstream to London. The Thames is also at the heart of Marlow's sporting heritage, as Olympic hero Sir Steve Redgrave honed his skills here as a young rower. And just a mile down the road is the home of the British Olympic Institute at the ancient site of Bisham Abbey. Marrying Ian's keen interest in sport with Christie's keen aesthetic eye, we arranged for them to meet up with Zoe Dixon from Sport England to find out more about the story of this impressive Grade 1 listed site.
Welcome, guys, to Bisham Abbey.
Thank you.
This is the flagship national sports centre for Sport England. The most ancient parts date back to 1138.
Wow.
But the Knights of the Templar occupied it until 1308, when they were disbanded.
So there must have been some interesting people that have lived here in the past and visited.
Yes, and some very notable guests. Henry VIII escaped here from London when one of the earlier plagues was in London and resided here. So shall we go and have a look?
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
The Abbey entrance is one of the oldest surviving parts, dating back to 1338, when it was a priory and home to Augustinian monks. Its rooms resonate with signs from its past.
So here we are in the Great Hall at Bisham Abbey. This is now currently used as our main dining room to feed our elite athletes. But originally it would have been the main room for the Knights Templar who resided here until 1308.
So is this room as it was, or has it been restored at some point?
A large restoration project took place in the 19th century. Originally, when the Knights Templar were here, there would have been a fire hearth in the middle of the room, and that has blackened some of the timbers above us.
And Zoe, I noticed a very small window in that corner. What's all that about?
Do you remember I said that Henry VIII came here to escape the plague, and he used a suite of rooms upstairs as his area, and he would look down from that window and watch the people being entertained in the Great Hall, and he would choose his wench that was to accompany him for the evening.
Right.
Alongside the preserved features inside, this manor house has substantially changed in size and function over the past 800 years, and it's enhanced by its timeless riverside backdrop.
So here we are at one of my favourite spots on the site. We're by the River Thames, and we've got the Abbey behind us. So hopefully, Ian, Christy, that's given you a bit of the history of the Bisham Abbey, as well as understanding what we now use it for in the National Sports Centre.
It's been fantastic. Thanks ever so much for showing us around. We've really enjoyed it. It's been great.
You're very welcome.
Having gained an insight into this historic building's links to monarchs and elite athletes, we need to return to their house search, where hopefully one of our remaining properties will emerge a winner. In a bid to deliver as spacious a property as possible, we're nudging over the Northamptonshire border to the village of Cyrisham, which extends Ian's travel time to Milton Keynes to half an hour. This village is in a quiet rural setting, one local landmark being its Grade 2 listed church, dating back to the 12th century. Our next house lies on the outskirts of the village and certainly has that curb presence that they're after. You wanted a standalone detached property.
Yeah.
And that's what we brought you for property number 2. What do you think?
Yeah, looks nice.
Quite an impressive building, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
really is.
yeah, it looks good.
So how old do you think this property is?
Fairly recent, perhaps, but I don't honestly know.
Well, it is a 2006 build, so it is pretty new.
Really?
But I have to say, inside, it's chocker full of great features.
Right.
Which I think will impress you.
And it's not the period property, but yeah, keen to see inside and I'll let you know.
Come on then, I get the hints. Let's have a look.
New build it might be, but I think the inside evokes quite a different feel to what they might be expecting.
First feature, little gallery there.
Yeah.
Second, straight through your hallway into your dining room. Wood burner stove.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to walk into the dining room, to be honest. So I'm perhaps a little bit.
Does that throw you a little?
Taken aback, but it's a nice area, isn't it? It's a nice room.
I think to really put this house into context, you need to see a bit more. So let's have a look at the kitchen, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't want your dining room out here, there, either, what about in here?
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, gosh, it's completely different out there. This is much more the sort of style we were thinking of, I think, isn't it? With the pine tops and the kind of country shaker style kitchen units.
But round the back there is a utility room. You definitely get a lot of space with this property. So let me show you the next room and see how you feel about that.
Okie doke.
Come on through.
The light shining in there.
The main living room, and look,
Gosh,
sun's come
that's
out.
huge,
Come on in,
yeah.
have a good look. Yes, it is huge. Have you ever seen an Inglenook fireplace that big?
That's a real
Really great.
feature.
That's a great feature, I think.
Yeah.
How about having 2 additional rooms, reception rooms downstairs, that you could take your pick on?
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
You've got a walkway through there, the other side of the dining room, and then you've got 2 more rooms. One currently being used as an office study,
Okay.
and the other is the family room with the TV and a corner sofa.
Right.
And it's quite cosy.
Oh,
So you've got all of that extra space.
yeah, wow. Yeah, sounds like lots of space.
The same can definitely be said of upstairs, which provides 5 bedrooms, all generously sized, light and airy, along with a bright family bathroom. But I think we'll really raise the roof when we see the master.
Oh, your eyes went up straight away. Ian, tell me.
Do you
Is
like
that a
it?
good size ceiling?
That
Good height
Denise, is a good height for a ceiling. Let me tell you.
And an ensuite.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Can we have a little look?
Yeah, have a little
Yeah.
peek round.
Oh, big shower. Yeah. Wow. Got our space in this one.
Oh, that's a really good, genuine smile there from you.
Yeah, I was
This
smiling a bit.
is a super room, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, it's lovely.
they've kept the beams, which is a really nice feature. Perhaps I'll have to see what the outside area is like to see whether we can get this one over the line.
You
or not.
always need a little bit more, don't you? It's
never enough.
Shall we go out and have a look and start thinking about how much this will cost?
Okie doke.
The front of the house benefits from a large driveway, which offers plenty of parking space. And there's also a detached double garage, which has a self-contained studio and shower room above. However, they might feel the pinch of compromise at the back.
Okay, this is your garden.
Yeah.
I'd call it small but perfectly formed. They've
Okay.
really
Give you
thought
that.
about it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not huge, granted. What are your thoughts, though?
It's on the small side.
So you've seen everything there is. So the question is, how much would you have to pay for this property? And Ian, this time I'm going to start with you.
Definitely a more expensive property than the last one we looked at. So I'm going to go for 725.
Okay.
Well, I had a figure in my head for the same reasons as you, really. So I'm going to go for 710,000.
Well, near the top of your budget. It is more expensive than the last one, but it's actually on the market for £685,000.
Right, interesting.
Ah.
Yeah, that's
Interesting.
surprising.
Now, does that change the way you think about it?
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
Oh, it's hard to get anything out here.
Can't give anything away with the numbers at this stage, can you, Denise?
Tell you what, go up there and have a look at that Annex. Go on, see
Yeah.
if we can warm you
Alright.
up. 685. 685, what a bargain. They guessed over 700. As they said, 5 bedrooms, a fantastic location in a great village. I think it might just take a little bit more time for this to warm to Ian.
Priced substantially under budget at £685,000, this huge family home is beautifully presented and provides them with a large kitchen diner, a bright and spacious living room with fireplace, and 5 bedrooms with that show-stopping master. Outside there's a separate studio Christie can claim as hers, and it's set in a village which is well connected for Ian's journey into London for work.
Funnily enough, the previous property, you know, was older and felt new. This one's newer, but it doesn't feel new. Again, I really like the kitchen. I think we could do with it slightly bigger, but the style is really nice. It really does feel like a country kitchen.
When I first saw the house outside, I was quite impressed. It was a plot all on its own, so it had that element of privacy. Overall, I think the garden was on the small side. I think they've made good use of the space that's available. So I guess overall, for the size of the house, I was probably a little bit disappointed with the garden area.
Ah, it's getting very comfortable out here. The sun's finally come out.
Yay.
Stopped raining.
Best part of the day, isn't it?
And you've got a smile on your face. Perfect.
Can't be bad.
Seen enough?
Yeah.
Come on then, let's go.
Okay.
As evening falls, our buyers can now sit back and reflect on their first day's property search. Having moved back from Dubai, Ian and Christie have £750,000 to spend on their first country property in the Buckinghamshire countryside. Our 2 offerings so far have tried to meet their brief of a stylish character property that delivers space inside and out. Coming up, the mystery house is bordering on perfection.
Almost, not quite, but almost speechless.
Yeah, don't go speechless yet.
And I piece together the county's secret military heritage.
The start of day 2 and it's raining again. This weather really can't make up its mind. But I thought we got off to a winning start yesterday. 2 great properties, the first of which offered everything that Ian and Christie were looking for on paper, but in reality it was a little bit small for them. The second gave them more rooms than they could have wished for, but the garden just wasn't enough. And overall, I really felt that Ian was struggling to see past the owner's furniture. So for our mystery house, we're going to force him to use his imagination a bit more. This property is all about the potential. So what do you think we might show you with the mystery house?
I can imagine it might be something that needs some work for me to sort of use my interior design skills.
I don't know. I mean, I was thinking, you know, the possibility of a big project.
So would you enjoy that?
I would do, yeah. It just depends on the extent, I think. As long as there wasn't too much work to do, I think it would be, yeah, good fun.
Yeah, I think your definition of a project and mine might be a little bit different, so...
We'll keep them guessing a bit longer. One thing that will please Ian is that our mystery house is less than a 15-minute drive from Milton Keynes, in the village of Deanshanger, Northamptonshire. Along with a very active community, amenities include a post office and a choice of local pubs. For the mystery house, we've found them a property steeped in history, but it's going to need a little bit of work.
Now,
Oh my goodness.
look at this, the mystery property.
Wow. Yeah.
You did guess fairly well that it may be a bit of a project. You didn't guess just how old that project
A
was.
bit of a project.
This is 14th century, grade 2 listed.
Wow.
It was originally a monastery.
Really?
So just like the Christian properties back then, it was in the shape of a cross. Over the centuries, there have been some additions, and then it was sort of modernised a bit inside in the 80s.
I'm intrigued to know just how big a project it is, but my first impressions are it's just hugely impressive. It's fantastic.
But will you be impressed by the inside? I'll tell you one thing you will be impressed by. The front door. Come this way.
Super.
Our mystery house has sparked their interest and intrigue, so let's move inside and discover what lies behind these historic walls and door.
Look at this door. I mean, this tells you it's 14th century, doesn't it?
That's a proper front door, that, isn't it?
Proper front door.
Really?
And it's kept Cromwell's men out at times.
Really?
Because during the dissolution of the monastery, this used to be a place where priests would come to hide.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's amazing.
So, yes.
This is beautiful
It's
to
just
me.
full of character, isn't it? And
Yeah, what a room
it's-
to walk
yeah,
into.
there's a real wow factor. Almost, not quite, but almost speechless.
Yeah, don't go speechless yet. You are coming alive. I like it. You're very excited by this. Come this way. So you have another living room.
Living room.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
More beams. Yeah, lovely again.
You can see the current owners have got a little conservatory out there. It is a bit
Yeah.
dated and in need of work.
Yeah.
There's definitely opportunities. The one thing
there
you
is.
really can't touch is that staircase. Jacobean with a preservation order on it.
Really?
Wow, fantastic.
But the thing that I suppose is very important to you still is the kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shall we have a look at that?
Yeah.
Yes,
I'd love to get your thoughts. Let's back out that way.
Okay, I'll lead the way.
Let's see what Christie's design vision might be in here.
Come on in. Very traditional style kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not the kitchen you've described to me before, the big sort of open plan,
No.
but there is still a lot in here, and you've got great
Yeah.
features. You've got the range style
Yeah.
cooker there and an electric one, so you can cook in both methods.
Yeah.
And you have got a larder pantry over there.
Okay, yeah.
There is another option, I think. There is another reception room off the main living room, which
Right.
opens out, and there's potentially a space where you could swap the kitchen to over there. It's a bit bigger.
Okay, good.
Still happy?
Yeah,
Still very happy.
still positive. Still
Excellent.
positive to me.
Let's head upstairs. Let's see
Okay,
the
okay.
bedrooms.
Show us the way.
There's plenty of scope for updating the decor, although they'll obviously need to go through the planning process if they want to adapt the internal living spaces as it's listed. Also on this floor is a laundry room and bathroom. We're now making our way upstairs.
So 4 bedrooms, and this is the master and the biggest.
Wow, that's a huge bed. Nice.
Which for a property
That's
of
good.
this age comes with an ensuite. I think it's great.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was just thinking it wouldn't actually.
I think it's older than we'd initially envisaged, or you know, we're perhaps looking for, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
Is that all
So
good?
that just leaves the outside and the price.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Okay.
that's going to be very interesting.
It is, isn't it? Very, start thinking. Up to you.
The first floor also provides 2 family bathrooms for the 3 other bedrooms, all of which are good-sized doubles and have spectacular views. Time to survey the extent of the land our mystery house comes with.
So this is the garden, and it's quite extensive. It's definitely the biggest we've shown you of the 3 properties, because it
Okay.
doesn't just go to that fence, it extends beyond there. So that paddock beyond would be yours as well.
Oh wow.
Yes. And then back down this way you
Oh,
have
that
this
comment.
orchard.
I thought, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
apples and green gages
Up to the gate.
up to the gate there.
Wow.
And then you get this double garage, which comes with a loose box at the end, so you could have a little pony.
Oh, sounds good.
Fantastic.
So, taking all of that into consideration, how much do you think this property's on the market for?
That is
This is a really
tough question, isn't it?
I'm gonna go for 720,000.
I'm going to go for 735.
Okay, now that sort of price, is this in contention potentially?
You'll have to ask
Possibly.
this one.
Possibly.
That's good to know, because you could get your hands on this house for £650,000.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm very surprised by that.
Indeed. So, armed with that information, have a real wander and explore around this property. And I'll see you later on, because it's the end. That's it. It's decision time after that.
Great.
Yes.
All right.
And off you
Thanks,
go.
Denise.
Thank you.
Oh, they're so hard to measure. They really like this property. It offers them the history, the space, the outside acreage, and it comes in at a great price. And yet, they're still holding back a little.
Priced at £650,000, our historic mystery house leaves them a £100,000 pot to renovate and update this into a fabulous family home. It retains a wealth of original features, including that Jacobean staircase. The large kitchen has great potential. It offers 4 double bedrooms, 1 with ensuite. all wrapped up in extensive grounds which include a paddock, an orchard and a stone outbuilding. But given that it's listed, it does beg the question if it's a project too far.
Oh, it's another nice room.
It is, yeah.
It's a beautiful fireplace there.
What would you use it for? Study? They've obviously got it as a sort of study, haven't they?
Yeah.
It seems to lend itself to that.
Yeah, it'd be quite good for my coursework as well, because it's quite light in here, isn't it?
Yeah. Very light, big room.
I can't help
There's
thinking.
a theme around this house, isn't there?
Yeah. From the outside, the mystery house, very impressive. Quite an imposing look about it, but I like that. And yeah, really grand looking house. Just bags of character again and a real feeling of space. So I think we were both really impressed.
I do keep my cards close to my chest, and that's the way they're going to remain, firmly close to my chest. And I'm not going to go as far as to say I love this house, but it's a great house, hugely impressive, and you're going to struggle not to be impressed with this sort of property.
I think this is exactly the kind of property that Christie's looking for a project. But will it work for Ian? Hello.
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 Enjoy that?
Yes, very much, yeah.
Fabulous property to wander around, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've seen
is.
them all now.
Yeah, we have.
It's all about making decisions. Let's find somewhere to sit down.
Okay.
Okay.
Buckinghamshire's market towns, quaint villages and agricultural landscape conjure up an image of traditional rural England. However, during the Second World War, hidden within its countryside, the stately home of Bletchley Park became the nerve centre of Britain's ultra-intelligence network. Known as Station X, it was here that the infamous Enigma machine was decoded. Invented in 1918, it was used by the German military to encrypt messages that at that time were impossible to decipher. Historian Ian Standen kindly offered to show me how it works. Now, this is one of the infamous Enigma machines, isn't it?
Indeed it is.
What would a German officer have to do to use this?
Well, first of all, they had to set it up properly. They had a set of instructions here, a code book, which told them the various bits and pieces of the machine. The first thing they had to do was to select which of the various rings. You can see inside the machine here.
Okay, so you've got three in there,
three in there,
these are the other two spares, and it
box.
could be any sort of permutation.
Absolutely. They were told which ones they had to be. They were then told which of these cables were to be linked between which of the sockets.
Okay.
It says on here, S to X, etc.
Right. But how many different permutations are there, given all of the different settings?
158 million permutations,
Wow.
which I'm told is about a million more than the National Lottery.
So once you set it up, you've got all these permutations, what would you do next? You want to send your message.
OK, you want to send a message. The first thing we need to do is to find a message. So what message would you like to send?
How about escape?
Sounds good.
Seems quite fitting.
Absolutely. OK, so first thing, we set the machine up, so we set it all to the ones there. So press your first letter, which is E, and I'll take down what the coded message letter is.
N.
The Enigma code was actually first cracked in 1932 by a group of Polish mathematicians who went on to make a replica machine and thereby passed their knowledge to British military intelligence.
And then what did the British do to intercept that?
Well, what we had to do was first of all intercept, so through a series of what we call Y stations, we're listening to the Germans' transmissions, got that, and we had lots of ladies sitting down, just taking down this random text. It came in, and it was given to the code breakers, who started off with this.
Very, very clever. British ingenuity, I like it.
The race to solve the Enigma code was won when in early 1940, the English mathematician Alan Turing designed a pioneering code-breaking machine known as the bomb. This meant that Bletchley Park cryptanalysts were able to intercept and decode up to a staggering 84,000 messages a month. It was a machine like this that Ruth Bourne, a Royal Naval Wren, operated during her war service.
When you're operating this machine, you would have to be given a menu. And the menu would have two pieces of information. One would tell you how to set the wheels, or rotors, which are equivalent to the Enigma rotors. The second piece of information would tell you how to plug the machine up at the back to emulate the plugs on the Enigma machine.
Did you ever know the results of any of the codes that you cracked?
No, we were never told what was in it.
What a privilege discussing code breaking with a veteran wren who actually worked on one of the bomb machines. Let's hope that some of the roof skills have rubbed off on me so we can crack the code of Ian and Christie's property problem. Well, we've had a good couple of days, haven't we, looking at properties.
We've had a super couple of days.
So we've shown you three, I think, that say very different properties, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go through them one at a time. We started with that barn conversion. I remember walking up to that and your face going, this is not detached. I've got neighbours touching me. But just talk me through your first impressions.
Unexpected, I think. Perhaps the lack of a second floor or something as well. It's still had a nice look about it, I felt, though, and I don't have such a problem with neighbours, to be honest. And I was, really impressed with that. And the kitchen, diner and the living space are just, gorgeous rooms.
I agree with all of that. But it was actually a comment that Christie made to me when she said, we'll grow out of this property quite quickly.
So overall, a little bit too small for you. Second property, size wasn't an issue. It was huge and detached, but quite modern.
Yeah, it was surprising. Yeah, inside, it almost felt older than the first property.
I think the thing about the second property for me was that the upstairs was fantastic, and I just felt it worked that little bit better than the downstairs did. So I was really taken with the upstairs, I must say. And I don't know, maybe if I live upstairs and you live... No, we won't do that just yet.
No, not now.
But the mystery house was something different altogether again. A real period property with loads of history.
I thought the building was a really impressive, imposing building. You couldn't help but be impressed. The living area was a fantastic room. Big high ceilings, period features, fantastic fireplace. I thought, to be honest, the outside area begged as many questions as it answered, really, because I just wondered what you would do with that piece of land, all joking aside.
But that was it. That was all the properties. Yeah. You had time to think about it. Were any of our properties the right one for you?
So I think property 3, the mystery property, is a definite maybe for me.
So that's the one for you. What
yeah.
about you, Ian?
I think I'd like to return to properties 2 and 3.
You surprised me, you two. You played those cards close to your chest all along. But to have 2 out of 3 that you're interested in is fantastic. What are the next steps then? Are you heading back there soon?
I think probably next steps are to revisit the villages that these properties are actually situated in, to work out exactly what the commute times are, and to probably have another look round and really challenge ourselves.
Yeah.
Overall, it's been fun.
We've enjoyed spending time with you. We'll love it even more if you buy a property. So let us know how you get on.
Yeah, sure, we will do. Thank you.
Thanks ever so much.
Well, there's a surprise. We seem to have hit the mark with not 1, but 2 of our properties, although the jury's still out until Ian and Christie have done a little bit more investigation. I have a feeling, though, that it's the mystery house that's going to win out at the end of the day. The big question is, will they have enough courage to take on a project like that? I'll see you next time on Escape to the Country. If you'd like to escape to the country in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland or England and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/Be On A Show.
Doggy road trips and the secret messages shared between Japanese cats. Pets at Wild, at Heart at 8 tonight. And then at 9, looking at the legacy left by Winston Churchill, the nation's farewell. The next, though, a hair-raising lot makes its way to auction on the Antiques Road Trip.